Your child harmed my daughter, and you penalized me.
A misunderstanding. Kids will be kids. Accept it.
The air in my garage was thick with the scent of grease and history, where my 1969 Camaro sat like a loyal friend, its polished black curves gleaming under the fluorescent light. It wasn't just a car, it was my late father's dream, rebuilt with my own calloused hands over countless nights. But that evening, when I swung open the door, the sight hit me like a sledgehammer, an empty space where my Camaro should have been. Cold concrete stared back, mocking me. My heart lurched, and for a moment, I thought I'd lost my mind. Had I parked it outside? No, I'd never leave it exposed. Then I heard it louder, sharp and cruel, slicing through the suburban quiet. Standing in the street was Ethan, the 17-year-old son of Margaret Hensley, our HOA president. He twirled my keys, the silver keychain glinting like a taunt. His buddies flanked him, their smirks oozing entitlement. My blood boiled as I stepped forward, my voice low and dangerous. "Where's my car, Ethan?" He grinned, unfazed. "Took it for a joyride, old man. You should lock your garage better." His friends snickered, feeding off his arrogance. My fists clenched, nails biting into my palms. But before I could move, a small voice shattered the moment. "Daddy." My daughter, Lily, 8 years old, stood barefoot in the driveway, clutching her stuffed elephant. Tears streaked her face as she pleaded, "Tell him to give it back." Ethan's grin twisted into something darker. He dangled the keys in front of her, his voice dripping with venom. "Want these, kid? Beg for them." Lily, trembling but defiant, raised her chin. "That's my dad's car. Give it back." Silence hung for a heartbeat. He grabbed her braid, yanking her forward, and slammed her head against the Camaro's hood with a sickening crack. Blood trickled down her forehead as she crumpled to the ground, her elephant falling beside her. The world turned red. Ethan's laugh, low, ugly, pushed me over the edge. I scooped Lily up, her whimpers cutting through me like glass. Her blood was warm against my hands. Ethan tossed the keys in the air, smirking. "Oops," he sneered, kicking at Lily's toy. I set her gently on the grass, my body moving on instinct. The crowd of teens froze as I approached, my steps deliberate, like a predator closing in. Ethan's grin faltered. "What are you doing, man?" he stammered. I didn't answer. I grabbed the Camaro's seatbelt from the open door and looped it around his throat, yanking tight. His hands clawed at the strap as he choked, his smugness replaced by panic. His friends gasped, one fumbling for his phone to record. I didn't care. I dragged Ethan back, slamming him against the car, and hooked the belt around the doorframe, tightening it until his knees buckled. "Comfortable," I hissed, my voice lethal. "This is what happens when you touch my daughter." I swung the car door into his shoulder with a bone-crunching thud. He screamed, his arm dangling uselessly. I leaned in close. "Feel that? That's just the start." I ripped my belt from my waist, threading it through the window to pin him against the steel. His cries echoed, raw and desperate, as his friends stood frozen. Then came the shriek. Margaret Hensley stormed down the street, her pristine blouse and pearl earrings screaming suburban royalty. Her face twisted from fury to horror as she saw her son, tethered and broken. "You monster," she screamed. "Do it, Margaret. But if your brat comes near Lily again, I'll tear your world apart." Her eyes widened, a flicker of fear breaking through her rage. I loosened the belt, letting Ethan collapse, and stepped back, my gaze locked on hers. This wasn't over. 3 days later, a letter arrived, sealed with the HOA's smug logo. Inside, 2 fines, $250 for an unmaintained vehicle and $75 for obstructing the sidewalk, with a fender Ethan had torn off during his joyride. I laughed, a harsh sound that echoed in my kitchen. Margaret thought she could bury me with paperwork after her son bled my daughter. My friend Tom called, urging calm. "Appeal the fines, John. Don't do anything stupid." I paced, my reflection in the window looking feral. "She wants war?" I growled. "I'm bringing a flamethrower." That night, I pored over HOA bylaws, budgets, and minutes under a dim bulb. My coffee went cold as I uncovered a pattern. Landscaping costs had skyrocketed from $12,000 to $45,000 in 1 year under Margaret's reign. The vendor? Green Vista Landscaping. Vague invoices, bloated budgets, it reeked of fraud. Then, my security camera footage revealed the truth. Margaret's husband, Carl, meeting a man in a white van at midnight, exchanging a check for a stuffed envelope. The van's logo? Green Vista. My blood ran cold with adrenaline. I had her. I started with Mrs. Carter, a nervous widow who'd been fined for her non-compliant rose bushes. Margaret's been stealing from us, I said, sliding a folder of evidence across her table. Fraud, kickbacks, fake contracts. I need your violation letters. Her hands shook, but she nodded. I'll help. By week's end, I had a dozen allies' neighbors fined for trivialities like porch lights or mailbox colors. Each shared their stories, their fear turning to rage. Margaret's empire was cracking. The HOA meeting was electric, the room packed with restless neighbors. Margaret sat at the head, her blazer crisp, her smile venomous. Order, she barked, gavel in hand. We'll address John Miller's violations. I stood, my voice cutting through the murmurs. Let's talk about your crimes, Margaret. Gasps rippled as I slammed a folder onto the table, spilling invoices and photos. You've been fleecing this neighborhood. Fake contracts. Kickbacks. I've got proof. Her smirk vanished. That's slander, she snapped, but her voice wavered. I played a recording from a whistleblower, Margaret's voice, cold and calculated. Raise their fines. They'll pay or lose their homes. The room erupted. Neighbors shouted, chairs scraped. Margaret lunged for the papers, screeching for security. I shoved them under her nose. Your signature, Margaret. You stole from us. Sirens wailed outside. Officers stormed in. Margaret Hensley, you're under arrest for fraud and embezzlement. Cuffs clicked around her wrists as she screamed, her perfect facade crumbling. Neighbors cheered, filming her downfall. The hall emptied, leaving overturned chairs and scattered papers. Lily tugged at my hand, her bandaged forehead a stark reminder. You were like a hero, Daddy, she whispered. I knelt, pulling her close. Just a dad, kiddo. But the truth lingered. I'd crossed a line with Ethan. His screams, the crack of his shoulder, they'd haunt me. Did I go too far? Maybe. But he'd hurt my daughter, and I'd do it again. Neighbors approached, offering me the HOA presidency. I shook my head. No more rulers. We need freedom. Murmurs of agreement spread. As I carried Lily into the night, the stars above felt like scars healing. Margaret's reign was over, her greed exposed, her power stripped. My Camaro, battered but home, stood as a testament to what we'd fought for. This wasn't just about revenge. It was about justice, about protecting those we love, about dismantling tyrants who hide behind rules. Margaret lost because she built her empire on lies. Ethan would carry his scars, just as Lily carried hers, a reminder that actions have consequences. What would you have done? Stayed silent or fought back? Share your thoughts below. Did I go too far with Ethan? Was justice worth the cost? Your voice matters. If this story stirred something in you, hit that like button to spread the message. Subscribe for more tales of courage and accountability. Let's build a community that stands for what's right, no matter the fight.